What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about things Norwegians find strange about the rest of the world. So today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked Norwegians, what is the biggest culture shock to you when you go abroad? So, something that you thought is absolutely normal in Norway, but quickly realized that is not the case in some other countries. So, as an American, I am very interested to hear about what is considered normal in Norway and what Norwegians think is kind of shocking about how other countries like America do certain things. So I'm very curious to hear about some of the comments from Norwegians about this, starting with formal speech. Norwegians find formal speech to be weird? Titles like Sir, Miss, and Ma'am. Oh, really? Do you not really have titles like that in Norway? I was kind of second guessing myself when I heard it can be rude to say, can I get, instead of may I get, when ordering things. Okay, well, that is a little extreme. Okay, this is an interesting topic. Wow. Like the idea of formal and politeness in Norway versus other countries. So just to be clear, in America, you can order things and say, "Can I get whatever?" You don't have to say "May I." That is way too formal. You don't have to do that. In Norway, we are just in general less formal. And if you try to be formal, you're going to sound old. Okay. Like in America, people do say sir and miss and ma'am. People do say that for sure. I'm surprised. Is there no Norwegian word for like sir or something like that? I don't know. For example, we call our teachers by their first names. Really? This is fascinating to me. Wow. So, this is stuff that Norwegians think is weird about the rest of the world, but this is honestly, it's the opposite for me. I think Norway is a little strange. This is totally different from what I'm used to in America. In Norway, you call teachers by your first names. Wow, you would never do that in America. That would be considered very disrespectful, actually. But again, if I slow down and I try to think about it, there's nothing inherently bad about being a little more casual. It actually sounds like maybe in Norway, people are a little more friendly, or I don't know. Being casual definitely makes you feel probably more bonded and closer with your teacher if you're calling them by their first name. And the parents of our friends? I can't recall calling them by their first name, but I've never called them by their last name. Yeah, when you're a kid in America, you do not call adults by their first name. Maybe that's weird. Maybe Norwegians think that's weird, but I've never thought about it as an American. That's just normal here. You call them Mr. and then their last name, like Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, or ma'am, or sir, or never their first name. I didn't call I didn't start calling grown-ups by their first name, man, until I was like past over 18 years old, probably. Wow. That's a huge difference. Huge. I never knew about that. This is really interesting. Okay, what are some other things that Norwegians think is strange about the rest of the world. And maybe that I think is a little strange about Norway. This is fun. The general acceptance of having a drink or two and then getting in your car and driving off. Oh, really? Really? In Norway, you're very cautious? You do not drink and drive at all. In America, you can't exceed a certain limit, a blood alcohol limit, but it's totally common and accepted that you can have a drink or two or three and then get in your car and drive home. That's okay. Some people in America are more cautious than others, but it's certainly okay. That's so crazy to me. My boyfriend is in Portugal. We and drove home after having beers at work. And I was like, "But you have been drinking." And he was like, "No, it's just a few beers and it was an hour ago." Dude, wow. Norwegians have a totally different idea about what is acceptable for alcohol and driving, and I gotta say, I respect it. I think that's a wonderful thing. Norwegians are more cautious. They take drinking and driving more seriously. And you know what? I bet Norway is a lot safer because of that. So I can't criticize that. It's funny to me now thinking about how normal it is in America to drink and drive, as long as you're having like one or two. But I respect Norwegians for that. Wow, I really do. Don't Norwegians drink like a fair bit though? So, do Norwegians just get stuck at the bar, or how long do you have to wait before you can drive? Or do you have a designated driver, somebody with you who doesn't drink? Or that'd be interesting to hear more about. What are some more things Norwegians do differently? What does Norway think is strange about other countries? I have to make a whole entire phone call to make a reservation. Like, WTF, can I not just book online and never have to speak to anyone? Okay, making reservations at a restaurant? So in Norway, you can make reservations online? You know, they should do that in America. I don't know why they don't. But yeah, you have to call in America to make a reservation. Yeah, you have to call. I don't know why. You're right. That is weird. I wish you could just do it online. You'd think by now you could. So in Norway, can you just book online? That sounds much better. Maybe, the funny thing is, it sounds like Norwegians might be correct about some of this stuff. Like, you're less formal, which I like. You don't drink and drive, which is good. You book online, which is good. I like it. I like how Norway does things. Having to carry cash. Well, America is kind of split on this. I think Norwegians think this is strange because I think Norway has really gone digital with electronic payments and paying with your phone, and America is getting there. It's taken longer for us. It took a long time for us to even be able to like tap our card to pay, like tap it. That's finally more common. It's taken a while, but more and more people are paying electronically in America. With a couple of, some people still carry cash, and most places accept cash and card still, so Norway just sounds like it's a little more advanced, a little more ahead of us in that regard. What else? Haggling and not clearly displaying a set price for items. Haggling. I find haggling to be very annoying. I don't like it. I agree with Norwegians on this. The only thing you have to haggle and bargain for in America is a car and a house. especially a car, you really, really have to negotiate with a car price. There's car salesmen. It's very unpleasant. It's not a good experience buying a car in America. I'd like to know in Norway, do you negotiate when buying a car, or is it just a set price? Because I would much rather have a set price. I agree with Norway on this again. Trust culture. Trust culture. What does that mean? I love how Norwegians are generally trusting. Yet in Southern Europe, people may be friendlier, but you always wonder if there's an ulterior motive. So Norwegians have a culture of trust. What stuck out the most to me about this was learning that in Norway, you can leave your baby outside in the stroller. You can leave your baby out in public. That is the ultimate sign of trust to me. You would never see that in America. In America, if you leave your baby alone, that is considered abuse. That's considered negligence. That's like you could get in trouble if someone wants to report you for neglect. And it's because it's considered dangerous to leave your baby. People don't leave their stuff unattended. I think in Norway, you would get up and walk to the bathroom and leave your laptop on a table. You would not do that in America. We don't really trust each other that much. And that is because we have higher crime, higher theft, and our society just doesn't have that built-in trust. We definitely don't. So that's a hard one for me to wrap my head around. If for Norwegians out there, maybe you could describe to me how trusting the Norwegian society is, because that is tough for me to understand. It sounds amazing, truly. I just could never imagine it as an American. What are some other things Norwegians find strange about the world? When people seem genuinely confused that I do not have any kind of religion. Norway truly is unique. I swear. This would be confusing to a lot of Americans, but much like electronic payments, people not having religion in Norway, that's becoming more and more common, more and more accepted. It does depend on where you live in the United States. It depends, like in some states, like especially in the South in America, it's more religious. You would be seen as a little more strange for not having a religion. Yeah, it depends in America. I think in Norway, it seems much more common to not have a religion. Again, America's kind of catching up on that a little, but it's still considered strange a bit. Yeah. Honking. It always takes me by surprise when I'm abroad. No way. No way. Like, people don't honk in Norway? I've never heard that. Seriously? That's funny, because in America, people honk all the time. People are angry in America. That's what that's what I'm acknowledging. People are angry drivers. People are very bad at driving in America. Apparently, we drink and drive more than Norway, and we definitely honk. People will honk. If you're at a green light and you don't start moving quick enough, people will honk. People have honked at me. That's funny. That's a that shows so much right there. That Norwegians find honking to be surprising or strange. Because in America, like, that is so normal to get honked at for anything, really. Huh. Norway sounds amazing. Like, it sounds so much more peaceful and trusting and responsible and That's something else I'm taking from this discussion. Really. Like the way Norwegians do things is so different, and it seems a lot more positive, actually. Wow. Okay, I was surprised by the lack of pedestrian street crossings when I went to the UK. In Norway, even small towns usually have them at every intersection where there's a sidewalk. Pedestrian street crossings. Again, this is because in Norway, I think people actually walk. In America, people don't walk. Like we drive. America is built for driving. There's not that many street crossings. It's very rare to see people walking, unless you're like in New York City. If you're in LA or New York City or whatever, Chicago, then there's going to be people walking in a big city. But everywhere else, people really do not walk. People drive. So maybe that would be, is that strange to Norwegians? It sounds like in general, Norwegians just get outside and walk and move more. And again, that's better. It's healthier. It's better for you, better for the environment. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That we are actually well off. Yes, we have poverty, but poverty outside of Norway is a whole different level. This is a good one. I will say in America, most people are very well off. We have nothing to complain about. There's homeless people. There's people who are struggling in America. Don't get me wrong. But I think Norway has even less homelessness, I'm guessing. But if we're being honest, if America is still like a first world country, we're doing a lot better as a country than some of the third world countries where people are literally starving, like doing whatever you can to survive. It's not like that. So yeah, poverty, I think America does okay. Probably not as good as Norway. Roadside billboards of alcoholic beverages. Norway doesn't have this, huh? In America, we have advertisements and billboards for alcohol. We have them for healthcare and medicine and drugs. Yeah. Being offered a sample of whiskey at the grocery store. The wine aisle at the grocery store. Oh my god, this is oh my god, Norway is so different. Oh my god. It's probably a good thing. Yeah, alcohol is available everywhere in America. Gas stations, grocery stores, corner store, everywhere. We usually they have a wine aisle. You see advertisements and billboards for drugs, for doctors, for alcohol. Yeah, that's all. Like, I don't think you see that kind of stuff in Norway. And again, that does sound better to me. That sounds like a better society. Wow. I think that's a good place to stop, honestly. I thought this was going to be interesting, and this discussion was even more interesting than I thought. This was really fascinating to me. Norwegians, hearing about your cultural shocks about other countries when you go abroad, it really taught me about some of the biggest differences between America and Norway. We do things very, very differently. And I don't know, this was just so cool hearing from Norwegians about this. I learned a lot. I quite enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on strange things about the rest of the world. If you are Norwegian, that'd be very, very interesting to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, Thanks for watching, and see you next time.